The blood speaks. The blood speaks. Do you hear it? The blood speaks better things. The blood speaks greater things. Better things than the voice of vengeance. Better things than the voice of accusation. Better things than the voice of guilt and self-condemnation. Greater things than the voices in your head. Greater things than the whisperings and the screams in the night, in the midnight hour. The blood speaks. Shut out every other voice right now. Hear the proclamation of the blood. For by his stripes you are healed. By his stripes you are healed. The blood speaks. He was pierced in the hands and blood gushed out. The blood speaks. Redeeming the works of your hands, so that everything you touch may be blessed. The blood speaks. He was pierced in the feet, in between the intermetatarsal space of his feet, and blood gushed out. The blood speaks, cleansing your walk, so that your steps would be ordered of the Lord, so you would not walk into destruction. You would not walk into mischief. You would not walk into poverty. You would not walk into the trap of they that hunt the souls of men. The blood speaks. Thorns pierced the crown of his head. Blood gushed out. The blood speaks. Don't let stress and worry drive you crazy and insane. By the blood, the chastisement of our peace was upon him. The blood speaks. No torment, no vexation of minds, no obsession and oppression of the mind. The blood speaks. You don't have to suffer from migraines and headaches. The blood has spoken. Better things than the hexes and the curses of demonic spirits that execute diseases and infirmities and illnesses. And the blood speaks. The healing grace comes by his blood. Your life is delivered from the destroyer, because blood was shed. And without the shedding of blood, there is no remission of sins. Sin brings the wages of death. But the blood cleanses and removes the stain of sin and takes away the legal right for the spirit of death, so the wages of the enemy may not be paid. The check cannot be cashed in. It may have been written concerning your life, but it shall not be cashed in. No weapon formed or fashioned against you shall be able to prosper. The blood speaks. He was pierced in the side. Blood and water gushed out. Pierced in the side, speaking of reconciliation of every relationship. Those that should walk next to you. But the enemy is separated. The blood speaks restoration, reconciliation. Do you hear the sound of the blood? For in the beginning was the Word, and the Word was with God, and the Word was God. Everything that was made by that Word, and without that Word was not anything made that was made. This Word was the light of man. And it came and wrapped itself up in flesh, with blood, bones. And the Word became flesh. But the life of the flesh is in the blood. And the blood of Jesus is light, because He's the light of the world. Light congealed. And that light, if you take it a dimension lower, it is the sound. If you go back to creation, in the beginning, God stood out upon nothing and He said, "Let there be light." Through sound and the spoken word, sound was escalated and it became light. And it's very scientific. Because sound is energy. Sound can pierce your ear and make you deaf. And through the energy of sound, He created light. And by light, He brought the creative power. And right now, by the sound of the blood, by the sound of the blood,